X-ray machines, MRI scanners, hip replacement joints, they're all medical devices taxed to help cover the cost of providing millions of Americans health insurance through the Affordable Care Act.
You're really talking about the bigger technologies.
Igor Volsky with the liberal news site Think Progress says the idea behind the tax was simple. The healthcare law creates more customers for medical companies so the industry can pay some of those profits back into the system.
There's going to be more people insured, more people who need care, and all of the healthcare sectors are going to grow as a result.
The 2.3% tax means $29 billion in federal revenue over a decade. But the medical device industry says that tax hurts their business.
That takes away from our research and our development.
One study by the industry claims a loss of 39,000 jobs, yet independent studies disagree. The nonpartisan Congressional Research Service recently found the tax has fairly minor effects and says at the most 1,200 jobs could be lost. Despite that, repealing the medical device tax has broad support in Congress from both Republicans and Democrats, including some of the biggest supporters of the healthcare law, Chuck Schumer, Al Franken, and Elizabeth Warren. More than 7,000 medical device companies dot the country, especially in liberal strongholds.
We're talking about Minnesota, we're talking about Massachusetts, we're talking about, I think, New York and California. Those are the states that have a big presence of medical device manufacturers. They're lobbying their members directly.
According to the Center for Responsive Politics, last year the industry spent $32.8 million, even more than it spent in the lobbying frenzy leading up to the healthcare law.
We are done.
We're talking about very big business and $1 billion at stake.
Lee Drutman wrote the book on lobbying, literally. In The Business of America is Lobbying, he looks at how it influences Washington debates.
So the money that companies spend on lobbying can end up being the de facto message that members of Congress hear.
That's what you see is they just spend an incredible amount of money just hammering on that issue and trying to build support for it. And there's very little on the other side in terms of lobbying.
The medical device industry isn't just hiring lobbyists here on K Street in Washington. It also donated $6.7 million to campaigns in the last election. We wanted to know what impact that money has, so we went to the House of Representatives to talk with the biggest recipients of industry campaign contributions, Minnesota Republican Eric Paulson and Wisconsin Democrat Ron Kind. They wrote the bill to repeal the tax.
Congressman Paulson, the medical device industry has spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying on this issue. You are a top recipient of campaign contributions. Congressman Kind is in the top 10 as well. How does that influence your work on this?
Well, bottom line is pure and simple. This is about jobs. And I represent a district and a community with 400 device companies, 200 of them in my district alone, that employ thousands of people. And so for me, I'm going to fight every day for those constituents.
Do you have concerns about the optics of getting campaign contributions from the industry while you're working on this issue?
I'm not, because I think policy-wise it's the right thing to do. And if you go down the list for any type of member, you can play that game all you want. You look at any member, and I wish I was independently wealthy. I don't know if we have some back here who can self-finance the game, but I'm not. You got to raise some funds in order to be competitive in these campaigns as well.
We talked to members of Congress who said the money they receive through campaign contributions has nothing to do with influencing them and their decisions.
That may be how they see things, because nobody wants to feel that they're being manipulated in any sense. A lot of lobbying is actually seeking out natural allies in Congress, not twisting people's arm, but finding people who will be sympathetic and then rewarding those people.
Drutman says the medical device industry has fine-tuned its strategy with billions of dollars in profits at stake. Libby Casey, Al Jazeera, Washington.